Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Empowered Living Network Empowering You training webinar this evening. I want to welcome you and thank you so much for participating. My name is Stacy Wallace, and I'm honored to be a social executive with Solavei and your host for the evening. I just want to invite all of you to the Empowered Living Network Social Commerce University. Our final event for the month is taking place Saturday. That's just here in a couple of days, and from 9 to 5 p.m. And you will be able to participate in San Diego, California, and be able to participate in a full day of in-depth training with some of Solavei's top performers, leaders, income earners. One of the prerequisites to be on that tour is the fact that you must be walking the walk, talking the talk, and living the example of a trio a week mentality, truly a 120 mentality of pushing towards executive. And we have seen some amazing, amazing responses to what's been taking place at the Social Commerce University. People going out, hitting their markers, getting their trios. And we certainly want to see that happen for you. So if you are anywhere near San Diego, we invite you, go to empoweredliving.biz/university, get enrolled, and I will look forward to seeing you Saturday morning at 9 a.m. You can see all the registration details there, as well as location and what you need to do to get plugged in. Now, tonight, I am just tremendously blessed to have with us two extraordinary leaders, Tony Bowie, a social networker, and Aaron Wolf, social thousandaire. They are going to be helping tonight share what it means to live an unstoppable life. Now, their life stories in and of themselves, even without Solavei, are remarkable. These are people who have overcome incredible odds to be on this webinar tonight and to be living their dream within Solavei. Both of them, you will hear, they are entrepreneurs, they're philanthropists, and they know that they've got breath in their bodies because they were destined to leave an imprint on this world. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to start off with Erin Wolf, who is down in Austin, Texas, and she is just a dynamic lady. Erin, are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Excellent. Well, before we get started, I want to remind everyone that you can watch the replay of tonight's webinar. If it inspires you and you want to share it with your team, just go to empoweredliving.biz/webinars. Of course, you can grab the link there and share it with your friends. Feel free to download it as if it was your own. And just use these tools to be inspiration to your teams and to the people around you. I believe tonight is going to be a webinar that's not only going to speak to Solavei, but it's going to speak to people's lives in general. And Aaron, I'm so thankful that you are here. You have become such a dear life friend. I celebrate you. Let me just tell everyone, last year, for the last number of years, even before Solavei, I held an event called the Unstoppable Leadership Summit. And we generally go up into the mountains where it's cold, where there's very little coverage of any kind, so that we can all be in this beautiful resort location, cabins, and in our fuzzies, beautiful snow-covered mountains, and it's a award ceremony. It's a time of training. It's a time of connection. It's really a time of setting goals for the new year. We're going to do it again this year. We'll keep you guys posted. Last year, as we were obviously just starting the Solavei process and journey, we did it last year. And of all the awards, we have trophies and recognition and jewelry, and every single person that participated was recognized. But there was one award that was the creme de la creme, the I would say the cream of the crop, the one that we held to the very end, because it signifies what the entire event and really what life is about. And it is our Unstoppable Award. And to signify the winning of that award, Aaron Wolf won it. And it's not necessarily the award that says you got the most trios. It's not the award necessarily that says you've gotten the most people in your network or you're making the most money. It's the award that says you are a leader worth following, and your example of an unstoppable nature is worthy of being talked about. put on a pedestal. And last year, Erin won that award. You can see there with her boxing glove, signed by our CEO and founder, Ryan Wirch. That was an incredible Unstoppable award that she got. And tonight, you're going to hear why. You're going to hear a little bit about her story and how she is now taking her story into Solavei and using it to truly bring light and hope to others. So, Erin, welcome. I love you. Social thousandaire and constantly growing and achieving great things. Welcome to the webinar. Are you with us, Erin?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so very much for having me on this webinar, Stacey. It's just an honor and just such a privilege. I feel so very blessed to be here.
Excellent. Well, Erin, tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us about, we see here the slide of you with the unstoppable glove and the survivor, hope, strength, faith. What does it mean to you to be unstoppable?
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, let me share just a little bit of my story. So it was July 14th of 2011, and Stacey, I was in my doctor's office with my husband going to receive the results from a biopsy that I'd had for possible breast cancer, and the optimist in me really seriously thought there couldn't possibly be anything wrong. So when the doctor said you actually have breast cancer, and then she started to use all these different terms and what we could possibly do and the different scopes of surgeries available, my mind just started spinning. And I just remember thinking, wait, did she just say I had breast cancer? And your life just kind of stops there for a second. And I looked at my husband, and he was nodding his head, and the doctor was still talking. So I thought, oh my goodness, I guess it must be true. And so just fast forward just to, a couple of days, and James and I just really just turn to our faith. And that's what I want to anchor on the first point, is that we just had to turn to our faith, of course, and believe that God had a plan for us and that he knew that this was just a part of my story and that I would be going through this journey and that he would take me out, and whatever the outcome, I needed to have faith that all was well with the world and that we would be fine. And it's like in Solavei, it's that same parallel transition that we've got to know and have that faith that we're on that right path and reach out and look beyond ourselves. And so I'm just thankful that I had that actual blessing and opportunity, because it's taught me so much more about life in general.
Well,
And
Erin,
so,
let me
yeah,
ask you a quick question on that point, because you've had an
yes,
incredible journey, even with Solavei. Because I remember
yes.
you were the first people in the entire network with Solavei that I chose to be in my founding 12. And I remember, you are such a precious, as people can hear even in the tone of your voice, precious, sweet, kind, loving, sensitive woman. And I remember when you got started, it wasn't easy for you. I mean, you didn't come out of the gate with magnanimous numbers. It was a journey for you to find your sweet spot with Solavei, I might say, to really persevere with faith, that you would watch Solavei and you would see other people putting in, a trio a week or a trio a day, or their numbers clipping along. And how did you maintain faith before you were a thousandaire? How did you maintain faith that, you know what, this is going to work for me?
That is awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up, because you're right. It's really kind of funny. The thing about that is, I knew, and my husband knew, that when you and Larry showed us the vision of Solavei, we said, we're in, we're all in. This is awesome. This is great. It's going to be life-changing for us and for all the people we touch. So I knew that, that it was working for other people, and I knew that the vision was there. For me personally, though, and I want to tell everybody this, just have a teachable heart and a trainable heart, because we know that we've got the right tools and the right product and the right people and the integrity of the company. But I just had to have faith that the people I was working with, Stacey in this case, was going to show me how to do it properly. So I definitely had to tweak my approach and change and learn from other people, and that was super key to getting started for me.
And you put works to that faith. They always say faith without works is dead. I remember when you were talking to a number of folks, and they were just kind of hanging on. They weren't signing up quite yet, but you kept saying, "Stacy, what am I doing?" And I said, "You know what? Let me hear you on a call." And I remember that, back at that time, it was a matter of tweaking and adjust very, very, very small incremental adjustments that made a huge difference. And I think that's what a lot of people miss is when it comes to faith, there's usually your part that you have to do. You can have all the faith in the world, but there's usually something you need to do to make slight tweak adjustments in order to get your channel tuned into that frequency of success. So how let me ask you this. Did you ever get frustrated even in that season of faith of knowing that it's working for everybody else, it's going to work for me? And then what did you do? I know you were so teachable, but what would you say is something that you did that made a big difference?
I just think continuing to believe in Solavei, and that's part of one of my keys as well, is you just have to continue to know that we have something amazing in our hands, and that we can continue to share and continue to share, and that as we do, tweak it along the way, as you said. But just remember always that when we keep going and keep going and keep going, those rewards and those blessings will all come. I remember speaking with Ryan Lowe, for example, and he said, people that he talked to a year ago, they were starting to fall into place, and that's happening with me as well and other leaders in our company, that when you just continue to talk with people and they'll see your Facebook posts, they see that it's real, they see that you're still doing those YouTube videos, tell people how they can really change their financial future with Solavei, then people will start to see that it's real and to just keep having that faith. And as you said, you can't just not do nothing. You've got to continue to do the things that are necessary to make it happen. But yeah, just keep the faith and keep doing what you're doing.
I think that's a great example. This last weekend at one of our social commerce universities, Michael Gowans, who is another thousandaire, a multiple thousandaire, that was out in Phoenix. He said, the key to success in anything is maintaining your belief factor. And I think when we talk, and I know we're going to hit on that in just a minute, but when it comes to faith, you've got to maintain that even when the circumstances around you seem to be unstable, or maybe they're not what you want them to be. Maintaining faith in the big picture, maintaining faith in the end result is critical to success, whether you're trying to overcome cancer, whether you're trying to overcome a broken relationship, whether you're trying to overcome financial debt or chaos, or whether you're trying to get your first trio. You've got to maintain faith that there is a big picture and that there is a picture for you in that picture. And I think with Erin, having gotten to interview her a number of times since her diagnosis and even knowing the process that she had to go through, it was maintaining the faith that God has a plan for me. He's not finished with me yet, and therefore I'm going to keep on keeping on. And just like she said, even today, when I have trios that are coming in, uh, I had the company do a little research and found out that there, out of all of the weeks that we've been in Solavei, there's only been 1 week that I didn't personally enroll somebody or enroll a trio. And so, how is that? Well, the people that are coming in today aren't people I talked to this week. They're people I talked to 90 days ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago, or even a year ago. They're now germinating in. And so keep the faith, stay the course, keep plugging people into the system, and just know that there is a plan for you as well. Erin, take us to this next bullet point and tell us about this picture. I'm sure there's a great story around this.
There is a great story, you guys. This is my family. This is Keston and my mom and my daughter Elisa, my dad, my husband, my son Camden, who's now taller than me, by the way. This was 2 years ago, and my daughter Juliet. So this was my support group. And so having the courage to go through something, you always need to remember that you are not alone. And so I just want to encourage you to plug into your sponsor, plug into your team, and let them help you. I've learned new things from my team members all the time. So just have courage. That was when we did the walk. It was a Susan Komen Walk for the Cure, or race. I actually walked it. And that wasn't but 2 months after my surgery. And it was the first time I'd worn that shirt that said Survivor. And I love that because I really honestly believe that we're all survivors of some sort, Stacey. I think that we've all survived maybe a death in the family, maybe the loss of a loved one, maybe financial difficulties. There's so many different ways, but when we persevere and we use our faith and we have courage to face our fears, then we're all survivors. And I love that. And we're all survivors. And moving forward again with Solavei, there's going to be hard days, but at the end, we're walking it out and we're racing, and we have the courage to just continue and keep going and plug into those people around us who give us the most hope and encouragement.
Well, we've got a number of leaders that meet on a weekly basis, and we're studying right now a book about chasing lions. It's called "In the Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day," and it tells a story, a true story about a young man that pursued a lion into a pit and won. And very few people pursue courageous moments. Instead, I love the movie Chasing Mavericks. I'm always throwing you guys some good movies to watch. Chasing Mavericks is another great one because most people run away from the big waves in timidity, and that's how they get sucked in. They get sucked in and overwhelmed by the ocean. But then there's those people that they look at the waves and they say, bring it on. I want to surf waves that are that big. And they actually chase with courage mavericks or massive, massive waves. That is the mentality personally that I have lived with. If you tell me everybody can do it, it bores me. But if you tell me it can't be done, it stirs up something on the inside of me that makes me want to scream out, yes, it can, and yes, I will. And I think that is what happens when you're faced with great tragedy or great obstacles, or maybe even a diagnosis. You either run from that in fear, or you face it head on and you say, you know what, is that all you got for me? Because I'm bigger than this. And so courage is a big thing. I know you put here, you put belief. Tell us, what is this? I can see, and I love, Aaron, you have always been such an exhorter to our entire network, to all of Solavei. You're always sending us things to put on our mirrors and affirmations and scriptures. What does that mean to you, belief?
Belief means so much, Stacey, and it's just been an amazing year because every year I choose a word of the year. And the year I got cancer, I had chosen the word strong for that year. Didn't know why or what it would mean, but I certainly came to find out. The next year I chose purple. Guess what came into my life but Solavei? How great is that? And this year it's believe, and that's just because we've got to believe in our God, we've got to believe in ourselves, and we've got to believe in what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so I put this up on my wall, the word believe, just as a reminder that each day we have important things that we need to do every single day. And for me, I need that visual. So I don't know about you guys. But yes, I would just want to encourage each of you to have complete belief in others. And I know every single person on this call and watching this webinar has a reason why they would do Solavei. And I can guarantee you probably 100% of them are not all about yourself. You have a much bigger why than yourself. And so just continuing to follow that path and go for it, and know that in the end, when we're running this race and we're introducing people to Solavei, it's about so much more than sim cards. That's what I keep telling people. And so that's the first part of that, is the believe. And then the second part is just to speak positive words over your life on a daily basis. And Zig Ziglar even taught this way back when Stacey and I met long ago, and Zig was teaching that well before I knew who he was, I'm sure. But just every single day I'll pray a blessing out loud for myself and for my family, and I have it right there on the wall. It's the Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14 blessing. And I love, each and every day it ends with, every good and every perfect gift is of God. Today's my gift. Therefore, it will begin perfectly and it will end well. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And when you say that out loud, how can it not, right?
Well, Aaron, when you say that, it's interesting because people are always asking. They ask my mom, "How did you raise kids like Ryan and Stacy? What did you teach them when they were young?" And then I even look around me and I look at leaders like Tony Bowie and Nathan Gooden and Jose Miranda, and I could just go on and on. And you, And I look and I think, what makes the difference? What, I could sit here for hours and talk about the winner's edge and little differentiations that make leaders great and make some people good. And if you want to go from good to great, this is a big tip, a big key that you should anchor, even when, and the key I'm talking about is making sure that the words that you say line up with the results you want to see. A quote I always say is, say what you want to see so that you can see what you are saying. Let me say it again. Say what you want to see. Now, the reason why I say that is, say what you want to see so you can see what you are saying. Most people say what they see, not what they want to see. They say what they see. So they say, you know what, I just can't get my first trio. Everyone I talk to just seems to, be in a contract. I've tried to lose this weight, but it just keeps sticking to me like glue. I don't understand. I keep gaining weight. I'm constantly tired. Well, guess what? If you say what you see, you will see what you say. You're going to continue to get those results. If you guys hang around my family, if you hang around great leaders, you will see that they say what they want to see so that they can see what they're saying. What that means is, for example, there's days I feel like I'm in a slump. I've taught weight loss and coaching and no matter what the area is, same with debt. If people just say, man, we're just head over in debt. Have you ever heard people that say, I take one step forward and two steps back? Guess what's going to happen? They're never going to get anywhere because they are speaking into reality their belief system. And that's why you've got to protect this area of your life and your business. You may say, oh, this is all kinds of philosophical, fluffy stuff. I'm just going to tell you, it is as important as knowing how to set APN settings. In fact, I think it's more important. And here's why. APN settings don't make the world go round, but your belief factor does. Because APNs, SIM cards, cell phones, businesses, they come and go. They're a dime a dozen. But no matter where you go, there you will be. No matter where you go, you're going to be there. And if you're the same person that's negative and complaining and a lack of belief, guess what? You're going to continue to get the same results. So I just challenge you to take this nugget from Aaron on how to live an unstoppable life in any area and begin to put things, I'll never forget there was circumstances that came into my family, my parents, many, many years ago. And they were struggling in an area financially. And I remember I went over to their house and I took little yellow post-it notes. Oh my goodness, this was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I took little yellow post-it notes and I stuck it all over their house, all on their toilet handles, on their doorknobs, on their refrigerator, on their front door, on their cars, on their steering wheels, everywhere. And the words I wrote were, expect a miracle. God's not finished with you yet. He who began a good work in you is faithful. I found every scripture, every quote, every Zig Ziglar paraphrase, everything I could find. And I put it everywhere in their life because they had taught me how to do that. And when they needed it most, I was given back a dose of their own medicine. And you know what? It makes a difference. So believe, believe, believe. If you find yourself kind of going through a slump in Solavei, check your belief factor. I bet your belief factor has dropped. And when your belief factor drops, so does your production and your results. Okay, Aaron, take us to number 4, which I think obviously has been the secret to your success, and that is perseverance.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh my goodness. Perseverance is so important. Thank you for sharing that, Stacy, because it's so true. I love the story about the post-it notes. We've got to continue to speak that into ourselves and then continue to persevere through whatever difficulty we may be going through. So I am just so thankful for difficulty in my life because it always will make you better provided you learn from it. We are going to have failures. There's going to be days that maybe you get 4 or 5 people who say, no, not interested right now. Oh, I'm on a contract, maybe a year from now. And you've just got to say, wow, one more no is just closer to somebody else saying yes. And you got to persevere through that because as we grow and as we learn and as we struggle and persevere through the trials and the difficulties, we will come out better than we were before. And on that note, I just want to say our networks will grow one by one, and then they multiply. So just don't get the picture in your head that you need 54 people today. Get one person on your team, and then get another person on your team. Pour into those people, and then get another person on your team. Build relationships. It is such a special thing. When when we pass from this life, we want to leave a legacy. And the people who are on my Solavei team, I hope they don't say, "Man, she was so great at setting my phone up and getting text message pictures." I hope they say, "She was there for me. She came and helped me out. She understood when I was going through a hard day," and just build those relationships. And just remember that oftentimes, as you can see on the screen, there are God-ordained opportunities come in the form of setbacks. I am so thankful for all the opportunities God has blessed me with after going through my breast cancer, because who knows, I may have still been going through that same particular company I was working with before had I not gone through breast cancer, and that brought me to Solavei. I just want to say that there are so many opportunities of blessing and kindness and generosity. So things that may look like a setback really could be our greatest opportunities. And then just to stay focused on your dream. We talked about that before, is just to continue to carry on and remember what's ahead of us and why we're doing what we're doing, and have that why in big bold letters on your office wall if you need to. Have a picture of what your dream is and stay focused. And then this is so awesome. So our family, Stacy, has never had a dog before. My husband and my youngest son are both highly allergic, and so this is a super sweet story. This sweet little dog right here was actually born on the day that I had my surgery. And my daughter got a call a week later to pet sit for a family in our neighborhood. And she went over there, and Lacey is a little Maltese, and Malteses have hair and not fur, and so they're hypoallergenic. And we'd never had a dog. My kids have begged for a dog. And so we just said, why not? Life is too short. And so once you go through something like cancer, it just shifts your perspective in life. And so whatever it is, don't wait. We only have one life. You only live once. So if it's a dog, get a dog. She's our little joy, happy factor in our home. And so whatever it is that you want, pursue it. Go after it. Don't let it slip by. Just go for it all you got, because we've only got one life.
That is awesome. I love it. And what a cute picture. Oh my goodness gracious. All of the women in the house are going, oh.
Oh,
That's
so thank you
awesome.
for
Well,
the opportunity to share.
Well, thank you, Erin. And, we've got folks on here that are just clearly, this is a word of encouragement to a lot of folks. As we travel around the United States with Social Commerce University, I have watched, as folks say, Stacy, for the last few years, we've struggled financially. They've gone through foreclosure, bankruptcies, diagnosis. Just recently, someone that I know has been struggling with cancer passed away, and the husband left with the children. Just life happens. And we're going to have a webinar coming up one of these days, and I'm going to talk about the power of shift. When you take out the F and you say shift happens, shift without the F is usually when obstacles hit you hard. But you can't stay in a pile of shift without the F very long, because you will begin to smell like it, act like it, think like it, and people won't want to be around you. But when you allow yourself in the midst of adversity to shift out of adversity, you will begin to see that when you have a setback, don't take a step back, but get ready for your comeback. I'm going to say that again. When you have a setback, don't take a step back, but get ready for your comeback. Because sometimes your setback is really just a set up by God to put you in a position to have global influence or to change the world around you. And so we just challenge you, like Erin said, have that unstoppable spirit. Erin, thank you so much. So excited that you're a part of Solavei, and excited that you are my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we are going to jump over to Tony Bowie out in Arizona. I just spent the weekend out there with his team, and just excited to see what's going on in Arizona. He's also going to be one of our speakers at the Social Commerce University in San Diego this weekend. And Tony, I know that you have got an incredible story as well. Some people know it, but a lot of people don't know your story about living an unstoppable life. And so, Tony, first off, thank you for being a part of tonight's webinar and for being willing so much to just come on here and share your ideas, to share your incredible brilliance and what's made you a social networker. You know, we're constantly wanting to hear the meaty portions. Tony, I'm checking you out here, and you do not have your audio pin, so you must have changed something since we started. So I cannot unmute you, buddy. I need you to go back to what we did in the pre-webinar and put those settings back on because we don't have you on anymore. But I do know this, that he is going, I see him right now. He's clicking off and he's going to get right back on, and we will bring him back on because he's got an incredible story that he's going to share with you. What I'll do right now is just remind you guys that coming up very soon is the All-In Bash, the 21st. Here's what I'd like to do is I would love for you guys to ping me and let me know, even if it's private. I'm not going to tell the world about it. I want to know if you're planning on having an all-in party at your home, at your office, at your church, or whatever. I know a lot of people are doing them privately. They don't want to open it up to the public because they've got special food and that's going to be there. I would love to know about it though. So if you guys will private message me on Facebook, you can check me out, Stacey Wallace, facebook.com/Stacey Wallace, and just ping me and let me know. Say, hey, I'm having a party, an all-in party, and I want to know how many we've got out there and who's doing them. And I think that would just, I also want to be able to share that with the company so that they know, hey, there's a lot of people that are doing these parties. So make sure you ping me on that. Okay, let me bounce over here and see if we can unmute. Tony, are you there? We do not have Tony. Tony, I've unmuted.
Hello?
Oh, goodness, you scared me.
There we go.
He's back. All right, excellent.
I'm back.
Well, Tony, we're glad that we have you on tonight and looking forward to hearing some of your tips to how to live an unstoppable life, an unstoppable business, and have a fresh perspective as folks are gearing up going into September 21 will mark our 1 year anniversary. So we're about to launch into year 2. What a great time for you to be starting with Solavei, or even a great time for you to set new resolutions as we come up on that September 21 day. So Tony, welcome to the webinar.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. I'm just finishing up doing a band fan post up. I was out there on the corners, you know, chasing people down with the car and the flag and sharing Solavei with anybody and everybody. So I'm a little sweaty, but I'm good. Good.
You know, that's what I love about these Thursday night webinars. I came in flying in after tennis and came in, and no one has to know that I don't have makeup on and that I'm in really, really comfortable clothes. I don't even have my shoes on. What a great life we live when it comes to being able to own your own business. And now on those hangouts and socials, though, us girls, we got to get looking all pretty. Every barn needs a little paint. So I get to hide behind the webinar slides on Thursday night. So we're glad you're here, though.
Good.
Who is
Good.
this picture of? Oh my goodness, are those your precious ones?
Yes. So these are my 4 beautiful children. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. And my wife told me not to put her in there. You know, she doesn't like to take a lot of pictures, and she's just getting rid of the baby weight. So she said, just put the kids in there today. So
Well, your wife is stunning. I got to meet her and spend time with her this weekend, and you guys have made some absolutely gorgeous children, and they're growing strong. My son loved playing with them this weekend, and I know that's why we do what we do, right, Tony?
yeah, exactly. You know, my son Malachi had an awesome time, and Natalie Ebony as well with Peyton, and he was an awesome helper for us while we were doing the training. But as you see, those are my little precious, and a lot of things that I do in life are to make sure that they get a good opportunity to be successful in whatever they choose to do. And many times that is a sacrifice in what I want to do, but I want to be able to do what I can to help them have the best opportunity in life that they can. You know, whether it's financially, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, Those are the four people, including my wife, that I think about on a daily basis that push me to the next level and everything that I've been able to succeed in life so far. And also with Solavei and the BandFam group, we have just continue to push the envelope and share and serve other people as much as possible. Um, Helping them in turn helps me, which helps me help my children.
I love it. And I know the things that you're doing on a daily basis as leaders in order to lead our teams and our networks. We can really use these same principles not only in Solavei but in life. And one of the things you talk about is follow success. What does that mean to you? And maybe even parlay that with your story and what that has meant to you over the course of the last 5 years.
Yeah, I've lived a very, very blessed life. I'm not gonna lie. I have uh, played the National Football League. I've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I have three advanced degrees. I mean, I have eight patents. I've done a lot of stuff, but what I've always done is I've always tried to seek out, um, whether it's physically speaking to someone or reading, trying to follow success, trying to find out what other people have done in their lives that have taken them to an extraordinary level, not ordinary level, because it's not hard to be ordinary, but an extraordinary level. So I read, I'm constantly trying to find other people that are succeeding, even in very small ways, in whatever they do. And in particular, Solavei. I mean, think about Solavei and what we're doing. This is groundbreaking. So there's no real, like roadmap. Nobody can write a book right now and say this do step one, step two, and step three. There are many ways to effectively share Solavei. So I've taken tips from Ricardo Gloria and Ryan Lelf and my running mate Thomas Malone and you. I mean, there are many people that I look at on a daily basis, whether it's uh, on your Facebook posts or whether it's in a webinar, on how I can add something to what you do that will help me in what I'm doing. And the most successful people in life in general will continue to find other people and try to do something of what they do and make it their own. And so when I think about Solovey, I know that your brother has a history of success in overcoming obstacles. Someone who has taken a company that he founded public in 9, 10 years on the NASDAQ, that is no small feat, people. That is a huge deal. So for me, when I see somebody that's been successful in doing it one time, the second time is usually not as hard. The first because you've learned kind of along the path. So I want to follow success. I see the vision of Solovey. I saw it the second Ryan started talking about what the vision was, and on the first webinar that video that he put out before we launched. And I said, man, if he can succeed at least at the very minimum half of what he's talking about, this is going to be a very huge deal. So my all the things that I've been able to do in life, I go back to saying all the time, what can I do more? Who can I learn from? Um, and who can I take a little bit of snippet from in order to make it my own deal? And so I've been very successful with it. God has been very good to me and my family. I'm a cancer survivor. You know, it's been an incredible life. And in 2008, I had my own business. I was uh, saying to myself, "This is going to be the best year of my life." And I said, I need to do some house cleaning. I had two girls at the time, the two girls, and so I was doing life insurance at a level that I had to get insurance. So, we were selling a beautiful house on the side of a hill. We were building another one. We were in a rental. And before we moved out, I had the nurse come home, come to the house. Took the blood. 2 weeks later, to make a long story short, I was denied life insurance. I had some aches and pains, but nothing real big. I was a former NFL player, so you just deal with that stuff. And it was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 lymphoma. out of the blue. And I remember coming home after the doctor and walking in the door, telling my wife, we look at each other in the doorway, and it was, we cried for, I don't know, a couple of hours. And then we just looked at ourselves, started praying, and said, you know what? This isn't the end of the story. This is just part of it. And so I had dreams and aspirations of running for office one day. So I picked up, got all the signatures I needed, started running for office that year, 2008, for state representative, and ended up actually losing in the primary just by 2 percentage points. Um, but it's that thing that I just, I want to do something bigger than myself. I want to be part of something bigger. I want to affect more people in life than just the one person. That's why I ran for office. That's why I share Solavei, so we can affect as many lives as possible.
You know, Tony, that fits so perfectly with even what Aaron said. And I think you just said it: follow success, follow the actions, take note of what you see other people doing. When you see someone go through cancer, for example, watch what they do after they become that survivor. They make critical decisions that you should take note of before you're diagnosed. You know, I love when Tim McGraw's father, the song Tim McGraw, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. I love that song because what it said is live today to the fullest. Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. And you know, that's what you did. That's what Aaron did with the little cute puppy dog. You run for office. Why wait? I've got chance right now to do something brilliant. And even when it comes back to our Solavei business, folks are like, you know what, next week I'm gonna, or I'm here pretty soon, or after I get out of school I will, or once the kids get back in school. Why put off till tomorrow what you can do today? Live in the moment. Be present right now. Carpe diem. Squeeze the lemon. Seize the day. And I love how both of your stories parallel with that. But when you say determine your own destiny, what does that mean to you?
That means that I have a hand in what my life becomes. I don't have to sit back and just wait for life to come to me. I can go out and I can grab life by the horns and start riding that sucker. So that thought process keeps me, moving forward. It doesn't keep me sitting down. It doesn't keep me on the couch eating bonbons. It keeps me moving, learning, growing, sharing, helping, because I know that if I am active in my own life, I can, whatever I choose to be doing, I can move myself in that direction by my daily actions. So I have a something to say about where my destiny ends up. Um, and I think that that's what God wants. God wants you to work. God doesn't want you to sit on your laurels and not use the talents that He's giving you. So I know God has given me a lot of talents, and I don't want to be all preachy, but God has given me the ability to do certain things, and I want to use every single one of those talents that He's given me and I want to squeeze it all out, before the day I die.
That is awesome. I love it. Well, and I think, Tony, we even talked about it. You're on the leadership call that we do on Monday nights, and uh, we talk about it, how important it is to maintain that leadership mentality of giving 110%, period, in every area of life. I'm not just saying, give 110% to Solavei and forsake your family. You need to show up, period. When we talk about go all in, another way to say that is show up, be present. If you're going to go on a date, and I said this out in Phoenix, if you're going to go on a date, don't just get on that date and go, where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? There's nothing more apathetic than that. Guys, ladies, take a little effort and plan something. I even said it this past weekend. Even if it's, you know what, baby, I have got a night planned for you. Well, what is it? Well, we're going to start off. We're going to do appetizers at McDonald's. because I know how you absolutely love those little chicken nuggets. Then I'm going to take you for the main course over at Burger King. We're going to get charbroiled burgers over at Burger King. And then I've got you the sweetest Wendy's shake that you're ever going to have. It doesn't take a lot of money, but you know what? That would wow me. That would wow me if I knew that someone took that kind of time to go all into a moment. So whether it's on a date, whether it's in Solavei, don't just kind of do it. Don't play around on Facebook and waste a bunch of time. Be intentional, be strategic with your time, and go all in. You got number 3 here. I don't know it all. Good Lord, isn't that the truth? The older you get, the more
Yeah.
you realize you don't know. And the more
Yeah.
successful you get, the more you realize more people know more than you. So you want to attach yourselves to them. What does that mean
Yep.
to you?
It means to me that I can't stop learning. I can't ever put myself in the mindset or the position where I say to myself that I know everything. I want to continue to grow. I think it's important for anybody that wants to be successful in any facet of your life to continue to grow and learn and be humble. I don't care what you've done in your life. Um, there's always humility that you should have because the Bible says before uh, before humility comes before a fall. I think that's it. Am I messing that up? Um, but I know that I don't know it all. So what I do know is I want to control the only things that I can control. The things that I can't control, whether somebody's in a contract or whether somebody's having a bad day, if I share Solavei with them, I can't control that. But I can control how I share, when I share, what I share, and the person's response is completely up to them. I can't, I don't get mad at someone when they say, well, get out of my face or it's a scam or whatever, because I know what I have. I know that Solavei is a way that people can instantly save on a monthly expense that is not going away in anyone's home unless they come to Solavei and share it with 9 other people. I mean, it's pretty simple. So I learned this control the controllable in MBA school as well in finances. When you're looking at expenses, the first thing you look at are to try to control expenses are the things that you can't control. You can control overtime. You can control, um, if you're spending on capital expenses, those types of things. Some things you just can't control. You might not be able to control the rent. Obviously, you can't obviously control the electric bill sometimes because it just gets hot in Arizona. Control the controls in your life, whatever it is, and you'll handle your days a lot better when you just worry about the things that you can control.
You know,
And
uh,
go ahead.
no, I was going to say the scripture you were talking about is pride cometh before a fall, and you had it right.
Yes.
You were saying the backside of that humility comes before honor. It's true,
Yeah, that's it.
is that, to have a humble heart, one of the things that I don't know it all, control the controllable. You know what? If you don't know something and you want to know it, hire a coach. Invest in you. Read a book.
Hmm.
I I don't know certain sports. I'm an athlete. I can be excellent at one sport and be completely horrible at another. So when I took up tennis, I wasn't good. I didn't know the difference between, you know, uh, putting spin on the ball and not putting spin on the ball. So I hired a coach, and coaches aren't cheap, but you hire a coach. My daughter's just learning how to ride English and do jumping, and so we hired a coach so that she could be trained effectively. The same thing is in life, in business. You've got to invest in yourself. You may say, "Well, Stacey, I don't have money to hire a coach." Well, you've got to decide where you're going to invest. Stop getting your nails done then. That's 56, $35, whatever, every couple of weeks. Renegotiate your budget in order to put money where it's going to pay you. Your nails do not pay you. And I mean, I'm hitting some sweet spots here, some comfort zones for some women. Maybe it's your you got to have Starbucks. You got to have Starbucks. Give up Starbucks. Starbucks is not going to pay you money so that you can do something that you can invest in your future and be able to gain more knowledge. There's always something you can do. There's books that you can be reading. There's things that you can be studying. There's time you can be taking. Invest in yourself so that you can gain more knowledge. A prudent man seeks knowledge. And I think that's what Tony's talking about. Tony, as you went through your process with cancer and coming out of that, and even football, obviously you don't win every game. You don't, everything
Hmm.
doesn't always go your way. What would you say is the most important life lesson that you've learned that you take through now and you apply to every area of your life, including your Solavei business?
It's it's my attitude, and Aaron knows this. When you're going through treatment, um, there are days that are so tough that you just you just want to quit. But if you can keep your mind right, um, your body knows that. It creates better energy. Your body will react to what you think. And so those positive thoughts on every moment matter. And I can relate this to football too. When I was in the NFL, I mean, there's very few jobs that every day is a physical battle with another human being. I mean, literally every practice is like that. And when you have the high stress of you may not have a job tomorrow if you miss an assignment or miss a tackle or do something wrong. If you're not a star player, I mean that is a huge uh, stress factor when you can immediately stop a significant six-figure salary. So your mind has to be right every day because you're not going to win every battle. And me being a smaller guy, my mind had to be right. I had to have a better mental mentality every day, every snap of the ball than some of my opponents because they were bigger, stronger, faster. But I outlasted a lot of the guys that were bigger, stronger, and faster simply because my mind was stronger than theirs. Not just on the field, but they didn't show up to the meetings on time. They didn't they couldn't take something that we did in the film room and apply it 15 minutes later into practice. I mean, those things, are critical, and your mind being right is uh is critical in NFL, and and Aaron knows getting through cancer and becoming a survivor. But this Chinese proverb is the man closest to perfection is the man that knows his own limitations. Now, you can apply that in so many different ways. For football, for instance, there are certain positions on the field that I'm not going to be good at. Even though I was an NFL player, I couldn't be a center. I wasn't the quarterback, but I could be a great defensive back. And knowing my limitations, kept me from trying to be those positions. In Solavei, if you want to be successful, in my opinion, you got to find somebody to run with. You need a running buddy. You need somebody that's going to hold you accountable, and you need to have somebody to hold them accountable. Because a lone wolf out there sharing Solavei just by yourself, you're going to get worn down. People are going to say no, they're not ready, and you need somebody to, just kind of say, hey, how's it going? You need to be plugged into these webinars. If you're not plugged in, you're gonna have a hard time surviving over the long haul. Just know your limitations, and you'll know where to fortify yourself with either other Solavei members, whether if it's Solavei, or whether it's just in life general. If you're having troubles, maybe you're a gambler, I don't know, and you need somebody that is going to hold you accountable every time you want to go to the casino. I mean, there are all kinds of things that when you find out what your limitation is, where you struggle, um, you'll be better at attacking that weakness, which makes you stronger.
I love that. I've always said staff your weaknesses. I love what
Yes.
President Ford always said. He said, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I surround myself with very brilliant people. And years ago, uh, and most of you guys know, I'm pretty, they call me Princess Warrior for a reason. I'm not the softest, tenderest, you know, girliest, frou frou, dress up girl out there. I'm a black belt in karate. I can dress up like Barbie intentionally because there's a reason, that sometimes you just got to dress up and do pretty. But really on the inside of me, I'd rather be on the basketball court sweating and throwing down with a bunch of guys and just getting all messy. And I remember there was a time when my mom put me in a pageant to try to sweeten me up and get me to, stop biting my fingernails. And I remember my dad took me through this process of answering questions and being able to learn how to effectively answer questions and how to take a question and turn it into an answer that you want to be the question you wish they would have asked you, even though they didn't ask you that.
Mhm.
What Tony is saying is you control a big amount of what's happening to you. You may not think it, and maybe that's what you don't know. But there's something called the law of attraction, and life is going to throw questions at you. Life's going to throw circumstances at you, but you have to turn those circumstances around. That's the power of and the gift that you've been given. I love what Einstein says: in the midst of every challenge lies great opportunity. And so if you look in the challenge of your life and have, oh, woe is me and I can't attitude, then you're going to miss it. But Sir John Templeton, for example, was brilliant in the fact that in the midst of the Depression, he found opportunity and made his millions in the midst of depression, while other people were struggling with a mentality of lack and of debt. This might be a call tonight. Maybe we're not talking about what phones to use and settings and how to build your massive organization, because I believe at the fundamental core of every great leader is a mindset of victory, a mindset of what both Tony and Aaron are talking about tonight is the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. Jeff Hostetler, that's a quote that he gave out years ago when he was, trying to be a great quarterback and a great player. And what's amazing about that is, I even remember, go when I watch the Olympics. Every great Olympic athlete comes with a great victory story. You might be at the front side of your victory story. You might be on the front side of where it seems to be dark and grim. I challenge you tonight. Take what Tony and Aaron have said. Begin to redefine your languaging, have a stronger belief system, set your faith, have courage, follow other successful leaders, turn things around because you got the power to do so. And then realize that even if you don't know, there is nothing out there that is hidden from you. Google has made the world of knowledge available at your fingertips. And you know what? I love what Tony said about watching we call them rushes in movie, watching the film, watching the tape, in sports. Watch the film of great leaders. Watch the film of what's good plays happening right now. That's the webinars. That's the hangouts, the socials. You guys can access them there at empoweredliving.biz/webinars. See what other successful leaders are doing. And then, like Tony said, the great players were the ones that could come out of the tape room and apply it on the field instantaneously. Don't just sit around and watch these webinars and listen to them and let this be good, cup of tea moments. Then shut it off and then go out and execute on it. Go tonight. Start putting stuff on your mirror. You guys should see the mirrors of my kids. They've got their dream boards. They've got dry erase markers on the mirrors in their bathrooms and in their bedrooms, talking about where they want to be, what they want to achieve. You need to get off this webinar tonight and begin to apply these principles. And I believe we're going to see tremendous success. Tony, thank you so much for sharing your story tonight. I look forward to seeing you this weekend. You got any final words for us?
No, just if you're anywhere in the San Diego area, please go to empoweredliving.biz/university and get your tickets. It's going to be an incredible weekend on this Saturday. And if it's anything like Phoenix, you don't want to miss it, and you sure don't want anyone that you have referred to miss it as well. So we'll see you there.
Tony, it is going to be an amazing weekend, and I'm excited about the energy that's been created. We almost had to shut down registration because we sold out of one location, and my husband called me and said, "Tony said shut it down." I said, "Don't you dare shut it down. We will move it." Tell them to keep coming. My goodness, we want to get this training out. So that was just under 48 hours 2 days ago, and 30 more people have signed up, Tony, since then. And so we've got, people even right now that are registering, and we want to encourage you, go and register. If you're anywhere in 500 miles, get in a car, start driving right now if you have to. But to register, go to empoweredliving.biz/university, and we will see you there Saturday morning. Again, Aaron, Tony, thank you so much for being on this evening. We look forward to more great webinars with you guys and events. I want to thank all of you for being a part of this webinar this evening. If you'll stay on, I'm going to answer questions if we've got any. But just remember, now is the time. This is the place, and you are the ones to start a revolution. My name is Stacy Wallace, and on behalf of Tony and Aaron and all of the leaders that are playing into these Empowered Living, Empowering You webinars, we just want you to know that we are believing the best for you. Good night, everyone.